Let's talk about some draft prospects I'm not so excited the Vikings potentially drafting. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about some players that, I'm just not overly excited about the thought the Vikings maybe drafting them. Before we get into that, remember, subscribe to the channel, like the videos here every damn day, talking Vikings. Let's get to 10,000 subs. Boom. Also, join us live tonight, 7 o'clock Central Time, only 2 hours away. We'll be live with Lupagus. So here's what I'm thinking. The main point of this video, comments, hot and heavy. I want to see who you guys are not overly feeling. I'm going to be going over 5 guys in no particular order. And just to be clear, disclaimer, I wasn't that excited about the Vikings potentially drafting J.J. Watt. I wasn't excited about them potentially drafting Aaron Donald. So just because I don't like these guys doesn't mean that they're not going to be fantastic. So here we go. 5. And you know who it's going to be. If you watch this show, you know Deontay Banks. I got to lead off with him. It's all about value. And this is at pick 23. Straight up 23. If we trade back and get Banks end of round 1, even in the round 2, I would be okay with it. But at 23, you're seeing this guy hot and heavy going to the Vikings, and everybody's saying the same thing. It's because he's a perfect fit for Flores' defense. It's a perfect scheme fit. That's wonderful. But the value is not there, and it's a reach. Even some of the guys that we've had on, draft gurus, much smarter than us, say that they got him like second, third round type value. So I hate the thought of us reaching just because he's like the perfect fit. Trade back, get Deontay Banks. I'm all fine with it. But that first overall pick in round 1 for the Vikings at 23, can't reach. Not allowed. So Deontay Banks, not feeling it at 23. Next up, this isn't at 23. This is just more like in general. McKee is a guy that's looked at as like third round type of guy. We know we got a third round pick. We know the Vikings are sniffing around quarterbacks, whether you like it or not. They have looked at a handful of quarterbacks, which they do every year, but they seem a little more serious. Kirk Cousins looks like he is one and done after this year. And Tanner McKee, the big reason is he's a pocket passer, not overly mobile. And when I say that, he's not mobile at all. And I don't need a Lamar Jackson type quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but we need somebody that can move a little bit. If this was 2005, bring on Tanner McKee in round 3. I would love it. In fact, this guy would probably be a first round potential pick if it was back then. But he's got the size. That's what everyone gets excited about. He's got the perfect size. And that's really it. It's all about potential. When I think about this guy, I think of Davis Mills. I don't know why, but that's just what comes to mind. And his comps are Mike Lennon. If we're going to go for a quarterback, let's make it a little more sexy. Let's make it a guy with that maybe has a little higher up or a higher ceiling if it's going to be in like round 3 or round 4. If we get Tanner McKee in round 6, I'm all for it. But if we're going for a quarterback, I just want to stay away from Tanner McKee. All right, next up, Jordan Addison. And if you've watched this show, this is probably a little bit of surprise because I love me some Jordan Addison. In fact, I've had the Vikings taking him in a handful of mocks about a month or 2 ago. But I got to look at it. I got to take my heart out of it. And just him opposite Justin Jefferson, I'm not feeling it. And again, this would be at pick 23. He's not as athletic as you'd want. He's got the smaller size. If we're going to go receiver early, I want a Quentin Johnson type. I want a big, beefy receiver that would line up opposite Justin Jefferson, give the other defense or give the defense some different looks opposed to just kind of two smaller guys. And Addison's going to be good. But even in mock drafts, this guy is falling and falling and falling. It's going to be very interesting to see where he actually ends up going. But just I'm not off board with a first-round wide receiver, but the value's got to be insane. Again, if we trade back and get Addison, like Banks, bring it on. Love it. But not at pick 23. And that hurts to say. Next up, I'm going backwards. Holy cow. Let's go. Siaka Ika, nose tackle. And again, this comes down to the position. Nose tackles seem to always fall. They always fall in the draft. We see it year in and year out. The Eddie Goldmans, I could list a million of them, but got Tonga. He's only 26. Let's see what we got in him before we go with a third-round pick with Ika, because he's a guy that you see him in round 2, you see him in round 4. He's all over the place. And honestly, I don't even know if I'd want him in round 4. We got so many damn needs on this in this draft. Going nose tackle doesn't sit right with me. And I know it's built in the trenches, but I want to see what we got in Tonga. I think Kwesi, we all love Duke Shelley. He found a gem there, but I think Kwesi might have found something in Tonga as well. So one more year of Tonga. He doesn't pan out, fine. Go nose tackle a little bit earlier. All right, see if I can do it right this time. And this one's kind of a cop-out, but it's got teeth. I don't want to trade up. I do not want to trade up. I am not feeling that at all for a non-quarterback. And just to be clear, I don't want to trade up in the top 5 for one of those quarterbacks. I'm saying non-quarterback as in if Richardson or if Levis starts falling past pick 10, maybe past pick 12, around 15, hell yeah, trade up. Go get your boy. Go get your quarterback. But I don't want to be trading up. And I love Witherspoon. I love Joey Porter. I don't want to trade up and lose some draft picks, some big picks probably, just for a cornerback or somebody like that. I'd rather just hang tight. There's some very good players in this draft. Quarterback's the only exception. I don't want to trade up for anybody else except a quarterback. And it'd have to, I'm getting picky, but it'd have to be like I said, pick 10 to 15 or so. So those are the ones I'm not really feeling. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking, why I'm a moron because I put some of these guys on there. Love to hear it. Join us live tonight. Hit that sub button. Let's get to 10,000 subs. Boom.